Today on Privacy X, we're going to be breaking down 3 new vaccine passports, what you need to know about the future of technology, how it's affecting your life. You notice I got tape because my friends at the CIA. We'll talk about that later. In operation, everyone needs a passport. Appreciate you guys checking out this video. Been gone for a little while, which is something I will be addressing very soon. Have had some really major projects business-wise I've been working on, and also been having some technological issues. We'll just put it at that for the moment. So, let me get into this because this is really important, and I recommend you buckle up and strap in for this video because I got some really important things to talk to you guys about, and this is something that I think everyone worldwide needs to take seriously. So, we've always had this digital footprint that is trying to give us an online social credit score-esque thing. Exhibit A, My Life, right? That stupid website that gives you like reputations and social media. It tries to grab as much data as you can, and you've got Intellius, you've got people searches, white pages, etc., and they scrape all this data and they try to give a picture of you. And the saddest part is through the teens, there was a lot of jobs actually looking at this, and there was people looking at you weird if you didn't have this. Now, I haven't had a job most of my adult life. I've been self-employed, but I've talked to friends who have literally been like, yeah, I didn't get XYZ, vice president position because there wasn't enough information about them online. Like, that is ridiculous. So we've really been going down the wrong path for a while. These devices spy on us. And we're going to talk about iPhone in a minute because I'm done with iPhone. I'm literally done with iPhone as of some news that broke recently, and it's getting really bad. But there's a few things on the vaccine passport. So the first thing is, and one thing we've been helping a lot of clients with over at Privacy X. If you guys want help with this too, you can go check out privacyxproject.com. We've been making clients disappear online. I mean, basically, that's what we do. That's our expertise, and we help people disappear, how to become a ghost in a digital world. So this is really, really important, especially for what's going on right now with the vaccine passports. You need to be able to earn an income anonymously, and you need to be able to live anonymously because it is getting shockingly bad out there. And if you guys have been paying attention, what's going to be implemented in the next 2 years, America's pretty much no longer going to be America. And I know there's a lot of countries in the world like America will never stand for this. Unfortunately, the weak Americans have been standing for all this stuff, and it sounds like they're going to take a whole bunch more. And so what's going to happen next is we've already seen New York announce, it's official, they are mandating vaccine passports in an American state. Now, New York is one of the worst, most garbage states in this country, but nonetheless, it's an American state. Now, my main man, Dana White, my fellow neighbor here in Las Vegas, basically said F you to New York, and he will not require vaccine passports. He will not lock down again. Dana White is the man, that's for sure. And it's good for me because UFC and combat sports are my favorite, and seeing that Dana White is a true American and allowing people to decide what they want to do is fantastic. But that's one company, one small thing, and Dana could go to Fight Island, he could go to Dubai, he got a lot of options. The average citizen doesn't have these options. So, vaccine passports are getting implemented in America. The problem is Apple and the idiots over at Apple just put out a nobility cause. Now, what was that nobility cause? You might have seen this. I hope you did. Basically, Apple is updating software on all of the iPhones that allows them to scan your entire phone. Now, they're claiming it's just pictures, but it's your whole phone. And even if it just was pictures, that's an unbelievable invasion into your privacy because they're allegedly looking for, stuff they can report to law enforcement. They're trying to pin it as to help with the kids. Apple doesn't care about kids. America doesn't care about kids. We live in a world where America couldn't care less about its citizens, and Apple is one of the most fraudulent companies. They literally host sweatshops and pretend to care. They put out propaganda about their morning show, TV show, and then they were literally mad and wanted to sue the Golden Globes because they got made fun of at an award ceremony. That's how petty Apple has become. We're a long way from the amazing computer company that Steve Jobs built. Tim Cook's a moron, and we're just going to leave it at that. I don't need to tell you what Tim Cook is. You can figure that out for yourself. So the unfortunate thing is now they're going to start scanning your iPhones. Now, I've said for a long time, I really only use this device. This is the new Pro model. I use this pretty much for business. That's it. I don't take it with me. I have other phones. I have a phone system, which I've talked about on this channel, and broke down phones I recommend. I just ordered 3 new phones today. What'll be coming in, I'm going to do unboxings and reviews, and I'm going to show you guys the phones I'm switching to. I've showed you a few stuff, but I'm really going to start getting heavy on the privacy-based technology on this channel to show you guys what I'm using. And it's really unfortunate. I'm not even going to be using Apple for business as of next year. I won't be buying the next iPhone, and I'm basically done with the iPhone, unfortunately. It's a great business phone, and it's great for limited use because it works so good, and it's pretty secure, and it's pretty locked down until now. I mean, Apple was just patting themselves on the back a couple years ago how we don't give your information to the FBI. Now they're going to be scanning through it to report stuff to law enforcement. Well, a bunch of cybersecurity experts came out and said, look, you can send over-the-air photos to somebody, and then Apple scans them, sends them to law enforcement. This is going to be swatting 2.0. So instead of calling the SWAT team on your neighbors, you can anonymously start sending pictures to people. Apple scans them, and then you've got the law enforcement knocking on your door because you just received a bunch of pictures. This is a cybersecurity nightmare, and it is, to say this is an invasion of your privacy is at a whole nother level. Now, Apple has always been able to do more than they should, which is why I said I've only ever used this really for a business phone. This is not, I mean, you can see I've got a $1,500 phone, and you can see I have gaff tape over the cameras because this is how much I trust this phone. I use the mic lock. Typically, you'll see a mic lock hanging off a dongle and gaff tape. That's, but it is, it's like defending, but it is a great business device. Right now, I'm done. I'm done. Even though I only use the iPhone part-time, I'm not going to use it anytime because they've taken it. I've said for years, when I leave iPhone, it's going to be when they mandate facial recognition. I will never use Face Unlock just out of principle. People say, Cody, what does it matter? You're on YouTube. It's principle. It's like the boiling frog approach, right? You just turn up the water little by little, and that's what we've been doing in America for decades, and now they're just cranking it up because they're like, these idiots are willing to do anything. We thought America had backbone. We thought America talked about freedom and liberty and, all these things. America doesn't stand for anything at this point. So they're just turning up the water as quick as they can now because they've realized, oh no, I'm hoping that Biden signs an executive order to outlaw guns. I pray that he signs that order because that's going to be the last test for Americans. That's what we need. We need the president, we need Congress or president to say no guns. I hope that happens tomorrow. The reason I hope that happens tomorrow is because that's the last test for America. Are Americans going to stand up, or are we just going to stand here and let the government do whatever they want, whenever they want? Because if you would have asked me 2 years ago if America would have done 10% of what we've done in the last year, I would have laughed at you. I did not realize how weak my fellow Americans are. Now, there are 5-10 million people with backbones that stand up, but we've got a country of pushing 320, 30, 40 million people. There's 300 million people, some of which are children, many of which are adults, who are spineless and weak and forgot about the Constitution, forgot about all the freedoms we have. Now, with these vaccine passports, that should be unconstitutional on every level. But we're just gonna slam it in. But it's just New York. New York is a garbage dump of a city. Everyone knows that. But then it's gonna be the next city, and the next city, and the next state, and the next state. Now, the only good thing is there's a handful of states who've already said, I will not allow vaccine passports. But it's only going to take them voting that person out and voting in a new governor who's a little bit more, willing to play ball for all the states to fall. And now you're going to have cards, you'll be swiping cards and swiping everywhere you go. It's supposed to be America. This is going to be 5 times worse than communist China in a couple of years at the rate we're going. And iPhone, the reason I'm talking about this, And I'm a father of 4, so I'm all for helping the kids, saving the kids. If there was something I could do, I mean, I'm all for organizations that involve kids. But giving up our privacy is not the answer. There's a lot of other moves we can make. And so a lot of people aren't going to talk back about this because they're going to say, well, I can't say anything because then I'm standing against the children. And that's not true, but that's what Apple wants you to think. That's what Apple wants you to feel like. They want you to feel like if you're standing against this, you want children to be bought and sold? Nobody wants that. I don't think well, okay, we've had some people in history, but most people, 99.9% of decent people nobody wants that. But giving up everything so they can scan our phones, and the next we're going to have to scan our phones to go anywhere or do anything. At what point are people going to realize? Now, I'm not giving up my privacy for any of this. I'm not doing any of that. I've done none of it, and I never will. It's all BS. I'm in a better position than most people to do whatever I want. Most of you, though, have jobs where they're like, you've got to get a needle plunged into your arm that's untested, and if you don't, fired. So you tell me you can't make your own choice on medical stuff? I mean, I don't even, we've gone to a place that is not America. And the people in charge right now should all be in prison. But the fact is, that's not going to happen. They're all going to win Nobel Peace Prizes and steal a bunch of money from the government like they always do. Insider trading, fraud, embezzlement. And then right off into the sunset. That's what always happens. But this time more than ever, America's got to decide, are we a free country? Are we America? Or are we not? Because I don't think we are. And so I'm starting to plan for the fact that we're not. And I know a lot of people in the privacy community that I talk to and I associate with and people in my network are doing the same thing. Because we've basically realized that Americans, I never in my wildest dream, I don't know. So with these vaccine passports, this is where we're headed. We're headed to a place where you're going to have scan your phone or scan your wrist or scan your face or scan your eye just to go to anywhere. And it's not going to happen overnight. It starts with garbage dumps like New York. And it starts with these pointless, useless companies like Microsoft or, some of these ultra socialist CNN type companies. But then it trickles down because then you get pressure from like, oh, you don't care about people? Oh, you want people to die? Oh, you're killing people. Whatever. And the reality is, instead of a smart society saying we need to rally together, hunker down, and protect our vulnerable and protect the weak and lift them up and rally around and protect them and support them, we all just go hide in our houses and you've got tens of millions of people screaming at Congress to cancel rents? That's not even a real thing. You can't cancel. These poor landlords are beyond screwed, and you've got millions of people that like cancel student loans, cancel rents, cancel everything. What? Wow, our education system is spot on when it comes to teaching people how basic economics work, like the most basic thing there is. Just cancel it. Just cancel it. Just cancel it. Wow. And the irony is that our government still has zero plans. They're still flying by the seat of their pants. All this time later, 2 administrations, thousands of people come. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. They're all idiots. All of them. Multiple administrations, thousands of people coming and going, zero plans. We're allegedly in a pandemic. Imagine the building across the street from you right now is burning. And imagine the fire department said, I know it's burning, but we're going to go on a 6-week recess. Are you 9? Our Congress goes on recess? No, our Congress is not 9. They're not even 49. The average age in Congress is 142 years old. Most of them have died a long time ago. Nobody told them. We got old rickety bag of bones in office every term. Again, I don't care what president. I want like a sharp 52-year-old who's got some stuff together. No, we're going to get somebody, our next president, I bet you, is going to be 87, cruising around in one of those electric scooters. Come on. All these people in this country and all these sharp people, and again, I'm not talking right, left, up, down, back, forward, blue, green, yellow, purple, polka dot. I'm talking common sense and intelligence. We can't even get that. I don't care what side of this you're on. I couldn't care less. So the vaccine passport has to stop. iPhone has to be stopped, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I think this is going to be the start of a new norm of them basically because you've built your whole world on this stupid thing. Now you have, I haven't. I've known for a long time this coming. I mean, I have one little slab of apps. Every time I don't use an app, I delete it and bring it back when I need it. Like, I've always known what this device really is. I've talked about it in these videos for years, but I've dealt with some of the cons because there was enough pros. As of today, there's no more pros. There's going to be no more pros. Unless Apple canceled that, which they're never going to do, there's no more pros into using an iPhone ever again. Ever again. Because we already know, I mean, if you learned anything from Edward Snowden, we've already known what they've been doing a decade ago. Imagine the tech we have now. We still look at Edward Snowden like he's the seeing eye. He hasn't worked for the NSA in over a decade at this point. Imagine the tech they have now. We barely had smartphones when Edward Snowden was at the CIA or the NSA or any of these organizations. We barely had smartphones. Imagine what they're doing now. I know I'm well aware of what they're doing now, actually. But we look to Edward Snowden because he was the big whistleblower, the one who's coherent. Julian Assange went off the deep end, but there's been other ones. But Snowden is like this well put together guy for the most part, who also came out and destroyed his life to try to help people. Whether you think he should have or shouldn't, he did. I'm talking about what happened. Now we've got a world where we're openly allowing companies to scan your phones. Next thing you know, they're going to be, well, what if these pictures are hidden in your emails? What if these pictures are hidden in your social media? What if these pictures are hidden in your DMs? The next thing you know, you've got one rep at Apple for every 100 people, and they're just going through. And they already said when they get flagged, they've got real people verification. That means people are going to be able to look at your pictures. What? And then you're going to have people determining whether or not? Nah. No, I'm good. No, I'm good. I'm good. I got nothing to hide. But I'm good with people scanning through my devices. You're out of your mind. So I'll be breaking down a lot of the technology I'm going to use. I've got some really good videos I've been planning since I've been on a little hiatus. I wanted to come back strong. I have 2 huge series we're going to be launching here at Privacy X. So hopefully you guys will check those out. Subscribe if you haven't already. You can also check us out on Odyssey. We put all of our videos up on YouTube and Odyssey, so subscribe on both. I am going to start doing some Odyssey specific content. Also, Privacy X will be launching a second channel soon. Similar but slightly different content, and I'll be announcing that, so stay tuned for that. A lot of people have been asking me. I'm going to be doing a daily show on a second channel, and then I'm going to be doing more breakdowns, tech, and a lot of cool stuff here, like the tools I use. Some of the stuff I've done in the past, talking about Raspberry Pis or Arduinos or mic locks or, you know, 2-factor auth, like all the breakdowns. I'm going to do more tutorials over here and talking about some of the tech I use, talking about some of the stuff, talking about more of the devices over here. And then the other channel is going to be talking about bigger picture theory. But this was kind of my video to break back in to doing videos after a little hiatus, because I mean, I just can't believe it. I've been asked so many topics over the last month, and I just haven't answered most emails on that stuff, because we've been blowing up at Privacy X, a lot of new clients, helping a lot of people with this stuff. People are panicking, and I get it. I totally understand. And that's why we're helping people disappear in the digital world left and right, because it's getting really weird. It's getting really weird. Nothing's making sense out there. The stock market shouldn't be doing what it is. Gold and silver shouldn't be suppressed the way they are. Bitcoin is a really interesting one, which we're going to be touching on that on the other channel. I'm going to be talking a lot about currencies, gold, silver. I'm going to be talking a lot of topics on the new channel, like I said. So it's going to be really, really interesting, and I think you guys will like it. I think you'll like some of the content we have coming up over here as well. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys checking this out. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and do what you need to do to become a ghost in a digital world. Privacy is a right, and it's a right that needs to be protected. And if you don't protect it, I don't protect it, I can guarantee the government and the big corporations will not protect it, and they will take your privacy. So it's up to people like you and people like me to do this. That's why I'm a big supporter of these open source communities, whether it's Tor or Linux. I have 2 Linux phones en route. I've got a couple. I've got a couple dumb phones. You know, I'm bringing in some of those burner phones. I've got a lot of really fun stuff coming on this channel. So for those of you who are looking for some really in-depth privacy tutorials, this is going to be the place you're going to want to subscribe. For those of you who want to learn how to do a lot of this stuff, live the way people like me and other amazing people in the privacy community live, this is definitely the place for you. I'm going back to daily videos soon here on my birthday. I've been building an archive of stuff. I've been setting up a system. I got my video editor in place. I got all the tools in place so we can just really put out some content for Privacy X, because it's getting weird out there and people need to start pushing back. And the best way to vote, guys, is with your wallet. I'm not talking protests. I'm certainly not talking violence. I'm talking vote with your wallet. If iPhone took a 20% dip, I can assure you they would change their tune. Now, I don't have a voice to make them take a 0.02% dip, and neither does virtually any other YouTuber who's 1,000 times bigger than me. But if people start realizing what's happening, maybe a few of them will start making better choices and help propping up some of these other companies that could grow some of these incredible projects. So I'm going to be buying a lot of them. I hope you are as well, looking into some of these different companies, supporting some of these small creators and open source communities on Linux and all these incredible platforms that are trying to help people like you and people like me and people like themselves grow and not be just another cog in the corporate machine. Have an amazing day. Go all in everything you do, and I'll see you in the next video.